It looks like Shedeur came through your last couple of practices. Okay, will he be your number two?
He will be the number 2, yes.
So it's official. Shedeur Sanders is now quarterback 2. And guess who had to choke the words out? Stefanski himself. But instead of celebrating the moment, he left Browns fans shocked again with that same smug energy, dodging Shedeur's name like it's forbidden. What's his deal? Is he really that intimidated by the kid's growing spotlight? Is he scared the rookie might take his golden boy spot sooner than he planned? Or is this just another silent power play happening inside that messy locker room? Whatever it is, it's not a good look for Cleveland. When reporters pressed him, all Stefanski could mutter was, he'll be the number 2. That's it. No energy, no acknowledgement, no respect. Just flat, cold words, like he was being forced to admit the truth. Browns fans saw it instantly. The arrogance, the same tired attitude that's been dragging this team down year after year. It's as if he can't stand giving anyone else the spotlight unless it benefits his precious system. This is the same Kevin Stefanski who acts like he's running some secret club, one where talent only matters if he's the one discovering it. Too proud to admit when a player shines brighter than his scheme. And let's be real, Mike Vrabel calling him a gimmick coach wasn't exactly wrong. Every season, it's the same disaster. Weak play calling, no fire in the offense, and that same blank stare when things crash and burn. And now, instead of lifting up a young quarterback fighting through all the pressure, Stefanski treats Shedeur like a name that doesn't deserve to be mentioned. It's pure disrespect.
Looking forward to what Tommy's going to bring to the table with this game plan.
Yeah, we've worked all week, Mary Kay, to make sure that putting a game plan together where our guys can go execute at a high level and play fast and those type of things. So Tommy's done a nice job throughout this week. Like I've told you guys before that he's done this, I know hasn't done the NFL, but there's not much of a difference other than pressing a button. So he's more than capable. I think he understands this team, these players, and it also knows this, and our team knows this. It's not about one person. We all have to do our job on Sunday.
Fans haven't forgotten how lifeless this team looked under his leadership, especially that humiliating loss to the Patriots. The Browns were lost, unmotivated, and completely out of sync, like they didn't even belong on the same field. Something's got to change fast, because if Stefanski keeps acting like this, Cleveland might just explode with frustration. Stefanski once again had nothing. No answers, no adjustments, just that same emotionless poker face that Browns fans are completely done with. And don't even get started on the whole Shedeur injury mess. The man twisted that story so many times it could make your head spin. First, total silence. Then half-truths that didn't add up. And finally, vague comments that just raised more questions. It's like he wanted to play puppet master with the truth, keeping fans in the dark while pretending to be the smartest guy in the building. But here's the thing. The fans aren't blind. They see exactly how Shedeur is being treated. They see his progress getting brushed off like it doesn't matter. They see Stefanski acting like everything's under control when everyone watching knows it's chaos behind the scenes. The whispers are getting louder. Is Stefanski scared of Shedeur's talent? Does he realize that once the kid actually gets a real chance, his so-called offensive genius will be exposed as nothing more than overrated and outdated coaching tricks? Every time Shedeur shines, Stefanski hides behind his system like it's some kind of shield. Why can't he just give credit where it's earned?
When called Tommy a football savant and really praised his football knowledge, and even him calling plays at I think 27. Like, could you have imagined calling plays at 27 for the programs he did? And what does that maybe say about him?
Yeah, part of the reason first got to know Tommy was he came out here when he was at Notre Dame, and we just spent a day together talking ball, and gosh, we talked about all sorts of football and scheme and those type of things. And so he's somebody that's grown up around this game with his dad. Obviously played the game at a high level, and collegiately has had really great experiences in his coaching stops already. So I just think we're all a product of our environments, obviously, but I think the environments that he's been in have set him up really.
Is this about control or pure ego? Because the way he acts, it feels personal. And at this point, Browns fans have every right to demand answers. How long will Stefanski's pride keep blocking the team's progress? The fans can feel it. The frustration, the anger, the disrespect, it's boiling over. They're tired of the fake calm, the empty talk, the stubborn silence. And the biggest question echoing all over Cleveland right now, why is Stefanski so uncomfortable even saying Shedeur's name out loud? It's like the word Sanders burns his tongue every single time. Reporters can see it plain as day. Stefanski literally tenses up when someone like Mary Kay Cabot dares to mention Shedeur's name. That awkward pause before he forces out, "He'll be the number 2, says everything. Fans caught it instantly, calling it weird, disrespectful, and flat out unprofessional. They've never seen a head coach in a pro organization act this defensive for so long. Every press conference feels like he's fighting not to say Shedeur's name, as if giving him credit would expose something he desperately wants to keep hidden. Browns fans are beyond frustrated watching this same pattern, a coach who stays cold, distant, and dismissive toward a young quarterback who's done nothing but grind his way up. The disrespect is exhausting, and now that frustration has started to spread deeper, fans aren't just mad anymore, they're losing trust. They're calling Stefanski a liar, a manipulator, someone who hides behind his title while keeping Shedeur locked on the bench like he's a threat instead of a teammate. It's gotten so bad that people are saying Shedeur might be better off leaving Cleveland altogether, just like Baker did. They want him to go somewhere he can actually grow, somewhere he won't be punished for having potential. Fans are saying there's no point even talking about him anymore because it's obvious the Browns have no real plan to play him. And when news broke that other teams had shown interest and Cleveland still refused to trade him, that's when the confusion hit a boiling point. It's like the team wants to own him but never use him. One fan said, "I'll believe it when I see it. Old Kevin lies all the time." Another called the situation a walking red flag. That's the mood in Cleveland right now. Angry, disappointed, and done with the fake smiles and empty words. And now, the high-profile fifth-rounder, Shedeur Sanders, is officially set to serve as the backup behind rookie Dillon Gabriel at MetLife Stadium, a move that feels less like strategy and more like politics in a helmet.
I asked Tommy yesterday about when he knew or when you know as a up-and-coming play caller, when you're ready for that role.
Yeah.
He couldn't give the coaching perspective on when you make that decision to give somebody that job, but what can you say about being ready from your personal experience, and then also when you know a coach is ready for that?
Yeah, I think it's the classic. You don't know until you're out there, and truly, again, I think it's certainly it's a science, it's an art form, it's all those things. But we have a ton of coaches that are capable of doing this and have done it. Coach O'Shea's called plays before, Bill Musgrave's called plays before. So that's the nice part where we as coaches can lean on the people that have done it before us. But if you've played Madden, you've called plays.
This Sunday could finally be the day Shedeur Sanders touches the field. Reports say if things start crumbling for Gabriel, the rookie might get his shot. And honestly, with how things are going, that's not hard to picture. Gabriel's been shaky all season, barely completing 60% of his passes for 702 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 picks. 1 win out of 4 starts. That's not the stat line of a confident quarterback. That's the sign of a guy running out of excuses fast. And here's where it gets wild. Head coach Kevin Stefanski has officially stepped away from play calling duties, handing them over to offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. So now we've got a struggling quarterback, a new play caller, and a desperate fan base praying this so-called bye-week reset finally sparks something. But deep down, everyone's wondering the same thing. Is this really a fresh start or just another round of Cleveland's endless excuses? Gabriel's performance has been painful to watch. Late reads, slow decisions, zero rhythm with his receivers. Every week, it's the same broken record, bad timing, wild throws, and total collapse in big moments. And through it all, Shedeur has been sitting quietly on the sideline, ready, focused, and waiting for his turn while the offense burns. The poise, the arm, the leadership, it's all there. He's everything this team is missing, and fans know it. The only one pretending not to see it is Stefanski himself. If Cleveland really wants to fix this disaster, they need to stop babysitting Gabriel and give Shedeur the snaps he deserves.
Idea that he will call them from above with that vantage point up there?
Yeah, I've never called it from up top. I've been in the booth before as a coach. It is a great vantage point. It's very strange sometimes how sterile it is, and you don't hear the crowd as much and that type of thing. But it can. People have done it both ways. Mary Kay, I was with Norv for those years.
Enough with the talk about potential opportunities and development phases. This man's ready now. The Browns have been starving for energy, confidence, and leadership. And Shedeur brings all three. It's time to stop watching him warm the bench and finally let the man play. Once again, Stefanski's out here doing what he does best, talking in circles and saying absolutely nothing. Every time someone asks a straight question, he slips into that same robotic routine about execution, playing fast, and doing our job. It's the same empty speech Browns fans have been hearing for years, while the offense keeps collapsing right in front of them. And now, to top it off, he's trying to convince everyone that Tommy Rees, a guy with zero NFL play calling experience, is magically going to fix everything? Please. Stefanski actually said, "There's not much difference between college and the NFL except pressing a button." Pressing a button? That's how lightly he takes it. That right there shows why this team keeps spinning its wheels year after year. He talks like NFL coaching is some kind of video game, but every Sunday his team looks like they can't even find the controller. The Browns' offense is still the same predictable, lifeless mess, full of short passes that die before they even start. And his tone? Completely flat. No urgency, no accountability, no fire. Just another week of pretending everything's fine when it's clearly a sinking ship. Let's be honest, Tommy isn't going to save this offense. Stefanski gave the same overhyped speeches about the last play caller he handed control to, and that experiment ended in a full-blown disaster too. The problem isn't the man calling the plays, it's the system, the mindset, and the stubborn leadership running it all. You can swap out play callers like it's musical chairs, but if the same old ego stays at the top, nothing changes. The offense can't score, can't finish drives, and can't even keep fans awake. Cleveland deserves better than this broken cycle of excuses. How long are we supposed to pretend that a few extra practice reps?
Norv was up in the booth always calling it, so except I guess when he was, on the sideline as a head coach, but guys have different feel for where they want to be, but it's most important in what the play caller is comfortable.
Will fix years of bad decisions. Stefanski keeps talking like he's above the chaos when he is the chaos. Does he really believe tossing another inexperienced name into the fire will magically spark success? Because the fans sure don't. They've seen this movie before. Same coach, same mistakes, same tired ending. Another wasted game, another wasted season, and another press conference full of excuses. At this point, Stefanski sounds less like a head coach and more like a salesman trying to convince everyone that failure is part of the plan. Instead of talking about results, Stefanski's out here hyping up Tommy Rees like he's some golden boy with all the answers. It's the same tired routine. Every press conference turns into a nostalgia trip where Stefanski drops names like Notre Dame, talks about football environments, and paints Tommy as this offensive genius in waiting. But fans are over it. They're asking the real questions. Where are the wins? Where's the progress? Because all that talk means nothing when the offense can't even move the chains or put points on the board. Fans couldn't care less about who Tommy's dad knows or how many late-night chats he's had about football IQ. What matters is execution, and Stefanski's teams have failed at that again and again. It's almost comical how he treats these background stories like proof of success while the scoreboard keeps telling the truth. The Browns are stuck. And the worst part, Stefanski says all this like it excuses his own failures. He hides behind buzzwords, praises everyone else to distract from himself, and never faces the reality. He's the one who drove this offense straight into the ground. This isn't leadership. It's pure damage control dressed up as inspiration. How many more times is he going to talk about potential before we see real production? Fans have had enough of the feel-good speeches and fake optimism. They want results. Wins, touchdowns, fire. Not another soft story about how prepared everyone is while the team collapses every Sunday. And then came the icing on the cake. Stefanski turning a serious question about coaching readiness into a joke about playing Madden. A joke. Fans couldn't believe it. That's not leadership, that's disrespect. Talking about play calling like it's some casual video game instead of the difference between winning and losing every week. This is exactly the kind of careless mindset that's turned the Browns' offense into one giant mess. At this point, it's not even about inexperience, it's about attitude. And Stefanski's is sinking this team fast. Stefanski just keeps proving that experience and accountability mean nothing to him. He keeps tossing out random names like O'Shea and Musgrave as if name-dropping past coaches somehow erases the fact that none of them fixed this offense when they had their chance. And now we're supposed to believe Tommy Rees, a total rookie, is going to be the miracle worker? Please! Stefanski keeps rambling about the art and science of football, but his playbook looks like it's still trapped in 2019. At this point, he doesn't sound like a head coach trying to lead a comeback. He sounds like a guy talking just to fill the silence, hoping no one notices how lost he really is. And where does that leave Shedeur Sanders? Still stuck on the sidelines, watching the same failed system get recycled like an old playbook nobody believes in anymore. Stefanski cracks jokes about calling plays on Madden, but won't give a real quarterback, one with actual fire and potential, the chance to prove himself. Where's the logic in that? You'll hand over play calling duties to a rookie coach, but you won't trust your own rookie quarterback who's shown nothing but dedication, drive, and patience? Make it make sense. Browns fans are right to question every decision coming from this man. Does Stefanski even want this offense to improve? Or is he just too busy protecting his ego from being outshined by a kid with real talent? Because to everyone watching, the answer's obvious. If anyone deserves a real shot to lead this team and light a spark, it's Shedeur Sanders. Not the same recycled name Stefanski keeps pulling out like broken safety nets. And yet again, another rambling, meaningless answer comes out of his mouth. Every time he's asked something real, he slips into that same boring monologue about comfort levels and different feels. Who cares about where Tommy sits in the booth? Fans don't want to hear about vantage points. They want touchdowns, energy, and wins. Stefanski sounds less like a leader and more like a man trying to justify chaos instead of fixing it. He's talking about sterile environments while his offense looks sterile every single Sunday on the field. No creativity, no rhythm, no direction, just excuses wrapped in empty words. Cleveland deserves better than this endless talk show pretending to be coaching. Stefanski's out here giving the same old textbook answers that move this team absolutely nowhere. Every time he's pressed about results, he hides behind excuses about comfort and perspective, while Shedeur's still sitting on the bench, watching this broken system spin in circles. Fans are begging to know, why not give the kid a real shot? Why keep protecting the same coaches and quarterbacks who clearly can't get it done? How much longer is Stefanski going to hide behind empty talk while the Browns crumble right in front of everyone? Does he really think fans can't see how stale and lifeless this offense has become? Week after week, the same predictable plays, the same lack of energy, and still, he stands there talking about vantage points when he clearly can't see what's right in front of him. Shedeur is the spark this team's been missing. Every excuse, every vague answer from Stefanski just proves what fans already know. He's running out of ideas and Cleveland's running out of patience. He talks about everything except what actually matters. Getting Shedeur Sanders on that field and letting him lead. This team doesn't need another speech, another press conference, or another promise. It needs action. So what do you think? Is Stefanski purposely holding Shedeur back to protect his pride, or is he just too scared to face the truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you on the next one for more Browns drama and updates.